All right, we can learn a lot from successful and incredibly busy people on how to better organize our own days. Vanessa Kappas, editor-in-chief of Bella Magazine, is back with us to talk about 5 things you can do today to increase productivity. Vanessa, always nice to see you.
Such a pleasure to see you. Thank you for having me.
All right, we'll jump into it. So before we get to tips, when do you think somebody would need to increase productivity versus just kind of chilling out and slowing things down a little bit?
Well, it's actually counterproductive. It's a counterintuitive situation where you should actually be trying to slow down in order to increase your productivity. If you're always going, you don't have time to take stock of where you're headed or where you're going or what you've actually accomplished. So the important thing here is to focus on the end goal, one thing at a time, so that you're able to actually get more things done.
I feel like you're in my head these days, like you're following me around.
And actually, could you actually expand on that tip, you know, narrowing it down to one task, and why is it important to do that?
Yes, I actually thrive on something called time blocking. You actually focus on one task at a time. It is scientifically proven, although some people wear multitasking as a badge of honor. You cannot do 2, 3 things at once. It's not true that you can answer the phone and also answer an email at the same time because you're not focused on one task or the other. So pick one task and get that done.
All right, let's talk about this. We've gotten very comfortable with Zoom meetings. Like, we think if we just do a Zoom meeting, it's not that big a deal. It's remote, it's easy. But I have realized that I fill up my days with Zoom meetings and all of a sudden my day is gone. You say that meetings are like vampires. So what does it mean and how do we fix that?
We've all heard the expression, this could have been an email. Really, really tone it down to, does this situation, this scenario really merit all of us getting together or scheduling a Zoom call? Does it really warrant, that an extensive conversation? If it doesn't, send it in an email, send it in a quick text. That way you can get to the next task. But yeah, meetings are time suckers, they're time vampires. So you need to narrow them down to only the most important ones that you need to take.
A lot of times these meetings you get off track and you're talking about something different than what you were supposed to
Something else,
Right. All right, so next you say we should set the alarm a little earlier in the morning. Why is that important?
It's actually scientifically proven that mornings can make or break your day. I don't know if it's ever happened to you where you've woken up later than you expected and you're literally feeling like half of the day or half of the morning is already gone. So if you actually make it a habit to wake up earlier, you're actually setting yourself up for habits, right? Every day you just wake up and naturally, organically, you'll start waking up at an earlier time so that you're able to get things done, especially if you're a busy parent or entrepreneur. Like, when do you work out? When are you getting your self-care in? Those hours, early hours in the morning, are really, really productive for your self-care, and it's important that you set yourself up for success.
Yeah, we'll move into that then. Personal health, well-being, all super important. How much of that, though, how much has an impact? How much of an impact does that have?
If you're always running, sometimes for a lot of women, breakfast looks like coffee, right? And we need to really supplement our health, our immunity, our gut. Something like Desert Harvest has a really great aloe vera component where you're getting your vitamin D, vitamin C, glucosamine, all of these things that you need to really function and be healthy. And honestly, for clarity, gut health, you'd be surprised how much of what really makes us feel tired and lethargic is linked to our health. You can't be productive if you're unhealthy.
So true.
So this last tip may be hard for us who like to maintain that control. You say rely on others. What do you mean by that?
No, I know that I used to proudly wear a micromanaging badge, and I used to be a self-professed control freak. But the reality is, when I'm faced with the task of, do I go pick up my son or do I go to the grocery store? We can now rely on online grocery store shopping, right? Like, I will not waste my time. I think anybody can go grocery shopping, milk, bread, anybody can pick that up. But it's more valuable and more of a priority for me to focus on my son. So I'll pick him up and let the online shopping cart do the rest.
So smart. So important to hear these things, because I got to tell you, sometimes we forget. We forget to take care of ourselves. We forget how to slow down a little bit. I'm totally guilty. So. Vanessa, always good to see you. I'm sorry, what'd you say?
No. I just said, and it's so important because we
Yeah.
have to realize, if we're depleted, if we're tired, we can't give and can't function properly. So take care of yourself, and you will definitely be more productive.
Indeed.
So true. All right. Well, we'll see you soon. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.